So in one of the worst nights of boxing I've actually stayed up for, Brandon Rios beat Diego Chaves by KO, TKO, and DQ. It was actually a disqualification, but that's what it goes down on under betting terms. I won some good money on that fight by betting on this KO, and obviously TKO and disqualification fits onto that. So woohoo! What else was going to say? It was a shit fight. It was honestly a terrible fight. It started off in the first round quite good, and it was looking like it was going to be good. But as soon as the third round started, Diego Chaves was holding so much. I thought it was Vladimir Klitschko fighting. Rios was leading with his head constantly, and also Chaves was doing the exact same thing. He just didn't get called out on that. Later on, he gets a point deduction for holding. Then Rios gets a point deduction for, headbutts, I assume. And then later on, Chaves gets a point deduction for forearm in the face, which was bad. That was a bad one. And then he picks him up DDTs. It was like literally off WWE. Picks him up, DDTs him into the floor. Rios was lying on the floor just laughing, thinking, I can't believe this is going on. And I was thinking the same thing. At that point, I put another fiver on the stoppage, because I knew it would come under disqualification. I could see it coming. I could see it coming from a mile away. And then they have a coming together, and on the inside, Rios says that Chaves was throwing him in the eye, and to be honest, he probably was, because he was a dirty fucker. So Victor Akulich stops him, waves it off, and says you're disqualified. I assume you won't get paid his 25 grand now, which, to be honest, it's a pathetic amount of money he got paid, considering that Rios got paid like $1 million. He got paid 25 grand, and he's probably not going to get paid that now. So yeah, it's one of those fights. I was really not impressed with that fight. So on the undercard was Jesse I'm so fucking overrated Vargas versus some Russian dude who's just not worth mentioning. And that fight was just basically how I summed it up. Jesse Vargas so overrated. This guy is a guy who he blocks every single jab with his nose. Have you seen the size of his nose? And now it's a flat nose. That shows you how good his defense is. It is pathetic. He literally blocks every shot with his nose. I really don't rate Jesse Vargas. Never have, and watched almost every one of his, half decent fights of international level. I don't think he beat Josecito Lopez, most people don't. I don't think he beat Reynar, most people don't. In fact, it's pretty well known that people think Reynar won the majority of the rounds in that fight. And even though I disagree, most people think he didn't beat Khabib Alakverdiev either. Now, I'm going to disagree, because I scored that fight and put money on Jesse Vargas to win on points, because I knew he was going to be several points up before Khabib actually got into the ring. And lo and behold, what happened? Jesse Vargas started well, ended shit like he usually does, and a lot of people thought Alakverdiev done enough to keep his belt. Unfortunately, not when Jesse Vargas is fighting, because Jesse Vargas is up several points before he gets in the ring, and what went and happened, he won, a pathetically lopsided points decision, obviously, and won me a shitload of money. Thanks, Jesse. But, this fight was just pathetic. I mean, Jesus Christ. He started quite well, and, like he always does, he starts well, banks a few rounds, and then he let his opponent back in by taking every single shot on the nose, doing nothing in the second half of the fight, and, basically making a close fight out of something he could end up, whitewashing. You could actually spend the whole fight looking for a meaningful punch that he threw, and he landed about one. Point being, never rated Jesse Vargas. Don't think he's going to go anywhere in his career. The second that they stop protecting him, he will lose. He's getting protected. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And I've got no time for him really, and I've spent too much time talking about him, so I'm going to stop talking about Jesse Vargas and the other guy who is so insignificant I can't remember his name right now. The next question is, where do I think these guys are going to go? And the only relevant answer is Brandon Rios is going to move on now. He's going to probably look to fight the likes of Ruslan Provodnikov. That'd be a good fight. Mike Alvarado in a rematch. That'd be a good fight. I wish he'll fight Matisse or someone like Maidana. They'll be good fights. Basically, anyone who's going to stand there and fight him will make a good fight with him, and not, consistently hold him and smother and just bullshit like that. And there's no point in fighting no movers or anything like that, because you just get battered. So if I was trying to bring his career on and I was looking to make him some big paydays and look for good fights, I'd make Rios fight, guys who are gonna stand there and slug it out with him, like Provodnikov. That would be a brilliant fight, and I really hope that fight actually happens. As far as Diego Chaves, he's going to be blackballed. No one's going to touch him now after that disqualification, and he probably won't get another fight in the USA. That'll probably be the last we see of Diego Chaves, to be honest. As far as the other two bums go, I'm not even going to talk about the V-Man and the other guy. There's just no point. Flip a coin who you want to put him in with. Get neutral judges. Either way, they're both gonna lose. So yeah, Vargas by lopsided, unanimous decision that a lot of people didn't agree with, and Brandon Rios winning via disqualification. Brilliant night of boxing. On the right side, I won some money on both of them fights. I obviously bet on Vargas by points, and I bet on Rios by knockout. So I got paid out because knockout, TKO and disqualification all count the same thing. Woohoo!